want to turn our attention to a true house of horrors. Rotting garbage, thousands of roaches, and a stench so rancid enough to make you vomit. Well, sadly, in the middle of it all, a physically disabled woman, less than 100 pounds, starved to death in a recliner. It was so bad that our News Channel 8 reporter crew had to take breaks while shooting this story. Reporter Melanie Michael is live for us. Melanie, tell us about this story.
Josh, I've seen a lot of bad cases, but this really takes the cake. Even veteran detectives tell us they were shocked when they went inside here. We did have to take moments during this story where we would hold our breath and walk away. Rotting food inside, a stench, as you mentioned, that was horrific. And at the middle of it all, a tiny, frail woman who was dying within these walls. Within these walls, the stuff of nightmares, torture, and starvation, where a woman was left to die in the sweltering heat. No food, no water, no air conditioning. Catherine Ash was surrounded by thousands of roaches feeding off of rotting food. And when she cried out, she was met with silence.
It was completely shocking. Everybody was shocked.
People who live in this quaint Gulfport neighborhood never knew the evil that lurked within. In fact, neighbors tell us they saw Catherine getting fresh air just twice in a year. In a gruesome description, one mother was terrified when she saw the 66-year-old so emaciated. Sadly, the mom thought it was a Halloween prank. Okay, obviously we know you can't smell this, but I'm going to describe it to you. While we were shooting our story, the stench coming through the window was so strong, we had to take breaks while we were getting video out here. And sadly, just a few feet away, take a look at this. Catherine's wheelchair nearby.
If anybody would have had any idea that that was going on, something would have been done. I mean, it was completely behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors indeed, a secret locked up tight at the hands of these two ladies who called themselves caregivers and friends of Catherine's. All this, according to Gulfport police. And as if that wasn't bad enough, a 4-year-old little boy was also suffering amidst the filth.
Roaches, thousands of roaches all over the walls, all over the floor. At the time that I was standing outside the entryway, they were just pouring out of the house to get outside.
For Catherine Ash, it was an agonizing way to live and a disturbing way to die. By the way, those two caregivers are still behind bars tonight. They are charged with elderly neglect and child neglect. The state attorney's office reviewing the case, Josh, to see if possibly those charges might be upgraded even to manslaughter.
Yeah, a difficult situation to try to understand here. Such horrific abuse, but why did those caregivers allegedly just leave this woman?
Well, they told detectives that they had, quote, had enough, and that they simply had to get out of here. Detectives also tell us those two women were then found at a nearby hotel in air conditioning, completely comfortable living circumstances there. That's it defies logic, Josh.
Yeah, awful scenario there. Melanie Michael live for us in Gulfport. Thanks, Mel.